we're best friends forever. And the party's just begun. When the girls start having fun, there's nothing in this world if I don't have my girls by my side. 'Cause there's no time like girl time. Keep the boys on side, 'cause it's girl time. We're all on the same vibe. There's nothing to hide, 'cause it's girl time.
Hey yo, let me tell you a story. The same story you've heard about 1,000 times in 1,000 different songs. About a girl. So I was at the bus stop waiting for the 33 when my eyes they fell upon the finest creature that I'd ever seen. I mean, she was hot.
How hot?
Hotter than a chili curry hot.
Damn, that's hot.
You know it. And then she turned to me and she asked for the time. But then when I tried to open my mouth, man, I couldn't even reply because I've never ever ever been very good with girls. They got me feeling kinda shy. Girls, I just can't look them in the eye. Girls, you know I'm asking myself why. These girls, they got me going on.
Chapter 24. A Meeting of Girls and Dungeon Masters. Latia, don't worry about handcuffs. I know you won't try anything, since if you do, it'll be you against everyone here. Latia got up and walked into Raisha's living quarters. Raisha looked surprised, but got up and walked in and closed the door behind her, with her letter that she wrote in her hand. Latia walked across the purple carpet and sat on the beautiful couch that was by the fireplace, but said nothing and just waited for Raisha to come join her. Raisha, wow, you're not scared at all, are you? Latia, why should I be? You're clearly not going to attack me, so come sit next to me and tell me all that's going on. Raisha, as she went and sat down next to her. All right. The reason Gilgrath feels this way now is because he just read this letter that I wrote to Clavdrea. Latia, Clavdrea, is that the woman who wrote you a letter over a year ago? We kept the letter since you were dead. Raisha, yes, that's her. I want you to read this letter, but I need to explain some things first. Once you read it, though, you'll see why he no longer trusts me. I told him that I'm lying to her and not him, but he doesn't believe me, and I guess I wouldn't believe me either if I was in his shoes. Again, Raisha looked at Latia's shoes, which used to be her shoes. You really like my shoes, don't you? Latia, Shinfia and I love all your shoes and outfits. We're just lucky that everything fits us. But you didn't ask me to come in here to talk about your shoes. Let me see the letter. Raisha, wait. I want to read part of it to you. I told him I'm lying to her, but he doesn't believe me. But look at what I said. Well, look at what I said here. One of the adventurers was a half-orc barbarian necromancer who had tricked the party and had gotten them to trust him. See, clearly I'm lying there, right? Latia, sure, but you must have said more, right? Raisha, yes, but wait, look at this part. After the battle, he got the party to bind the wounds of the fallen and to cast their healing spells on us by convincing them that he was going to try to reach us and turn us from evil to good. So clearly I'm lying here, since that was his plan, and we did turn, but I made it sound like he fooled you. Latia, but did you turn? Raisha, not smiling. I also said this to her, referring to all of you. Hopefully, we'll never see any of them ever again, as they're all certain that I'm dead. I just wrote this letter yesterday and was going to send it today. So see, I'm lying to her. I was shocked, though, that he found it. I guess I should have magically hidden it. But I didn't think he'd go looking in the room that's behind my wardrobe. Latia, looking a little impatient. Can I read the letter now? Raisha, fine. Just please understand, though, that I had to convince her of stuff, because I'm hoping she won't come here, but she might. So I also had to say certain things, so that if she does come here, she won't attack anyone. But I'm still nervous, especially since I no longer worship Talona. Latia, you don't worship Talona anymore. Raisha, no, I swear. Latia, telling me you swear means nothing. Let me read the letter. She handed Latia the letter, and she read it. So you're telling me this is all a ruse to fool her, and not that you're fooling Jograth? Raisha, yes. Latia, I don't believe you. Raisha looked mad. Raisha, you said right here, I'm pretending that I've fallen in love with him too, as I don't dare let him know that I haven't changed my ways. He's convinced that I have, so I have to keep up this ruse. Raisha, do you think I should tell her that I no longer worship Talona? If I told her that, she'd come here to kill us. Latia, no. Obviously, you have to make her think you still do. But why tell her that you're pretending to be in love with him? Raisha, because it's a lot easier than telling her that we're in love. Besides, if I told her that, she'd no longer trust me. Unless I also said that Jograth is evil, and we're now ruling together. But then why aren't we attacking the roads? See, I had to lie, but I had to lie in such a way that there's a chance she won't respond anymore. At least not for a while. Latia thought for a moment. Okay, I can see what you mean, kind of. But if Jograth handed me this letter and you weren't here, my response would be, see, I told you so. I knew she was lying. Raisha, crying now. But I'm not. I love him. How can I prove to you that I love him, and that I'm no longer worshiping Talona, and that I'm no longer evil? Please tell me what I need to do. I'm desperate, Latia. He pushed me up against the wall and put a dagger to my throat and said he's thinking about killing me. I've never seen him so angry, and he's never been mean to me like that before. Latia looked shocked. What you should have done was show him this letter and explain to him why you wrote it. Raisha, I was going to. Latia, no you weren't. You're only saying that now because he found it. Raisha, no. Okay, maybe. But I really wanted to talk to him and show it to him and explain to him why I said all this to her before I sent it to her. Latia, and I have only your word that that's the case. But saying, okay, maybe, to me, tells me you might just be telling the truth. Well, after reading all you wrote here, I can understand why he feels the way he does. But I'm shocked he attacked you like that. He clearly felt betrayed, though, and I can't blame him. But you say you're no longer worshiping Talona. Which deity are you worshiping, then? Raisha, none yet, but I'm going to try worshiping Weejas. We were just talking about that. Latia, Weejas? Never heard of her. I take it she's a good deity? Raisha, she's neither good nor evil, but she's all about law, where Talona is all about chaos. But I was also wondering about Ilana. Latia, oh, I'd totally try worshiping Ilana. She's who I'd worship if I was human. Teneth worships her. She's good, and like my deity, Shyla, she's a goddess of the forests and the woodlands. Raisha, well, Weejas seems to fit my personality better, and Jograth agrees, except for the part about her being all about law, as the only laws I care about were mine, since I was in charge here. Latia, I'm not sure you should try this Weejas person. A person who's neither good nor evil, but is all about law, is someone that I might fear. Not as much as Talona, obviously, but still. She sounds like she could be dangerous. What are her other titles? Raisha, hesitating. She's the goddess of magic, death, vanity, and law. Latia, giving her a look. Death and vanity? Are you kidding me right now? Raisha. Well, you asked. Nightwind. Do you think we should knock on the door, just to make sure she's okay? Shinfia. I think if she wasn't okay, we'd hear her scream. Jack. Not if Raisha casts silence in the room. Shinfia. Oh, you're right. Maybe we should knock. Well, they won't hear it if she casts silence, so just open it and say hi, and that we're just checking to make sure everything is okay. Here, I'll do it. Shinfia walked over and opened the door and looked inside. Hi, just making sure everything is okay in here. We were worried she might cast silence, so we're just checking in to make sure everything's okay. Latia. Everything's fine. Shin, come in here and close the door. I have an idea. She then turned to Raisha. Just give me a moment, okay? We'll be right back. Latia went into the other room with Shinfia and called Dalma over too, and then whispered to both of them, after asking everyone else to go into the temple area so they could all talk alone. I'm still not sure if she's lying to Jograth or not, but I have an idea, and I wanted to see what you both think of it. Shinfia. Okay, what is it? Latia. If Raisha is lying, then she's still evil. So if she's still evil, how do you think she'd react if the three of us got friendly with her? And by friendly, I mean how we all were when we went back to the Dryads with Tina. Shinfia, smiling now. You want us three to get all affectionate with Raisha to see how she responds? Oh, I like your idea. Dalma, me too. Any excuse to kiss you both sounds good to me. Latia and Shinfia looked a little shocked at Dalma's words. Oh, I don't mean it like that. I just really like kissing and being affectionate now. With men too, but men might take it the wrong way after a while. Shinfia, laughing a little now. What if she likes it though? Then what? Latia, I don't know. I'm just curious how she'll respond to us all being friendly and affectionate with her. Should we tell her what we want to do, or should we just start doing it? Shinfia, You know, I'm not really sure. Let's just go back and sit with her. A sly smile then crossed her lips. And just go with the flow. Dalma and Latia just smiled. The girls started to head back into Raisha's private quarters, but Latia turned and went into the temple area. Guys, we might be a while. Don't worry. Raisha isn't going to try anything. She desperately wants to prove to all of us that she's not evil. Jograth, which is exactly what she'd do if she were still evil. Latia, okay, but even if she is, she still won't do anything, since she needs to convince us. So don't worry. Just go outside, or maybe show them around or something. Give us an hour, or maybe 2. Lightmane, 2 hours? What are you girls up to? Latia, we're just going to try having some fun girl time with Raisha, she said, smiling. Jack, okay then. I think that's our cue to leave. Have fun, girls. Jograth, why don't you show us around this place some more? Jograth, looking a little confused. Girl time with Raisha? What exactly does that mean? Lightmane, why am I not surprised that the half-orc doesn't understand the concept of girl time? We'll try our best to explain, but they'll be fine, so don't worry. The guys all headed out, and Latia started to go back inside, but first she grabbed 4 golden cups along with the golden flagon that had wine in it, and then went back inside and closed the door. Raisha, seeing them enter. What's going on? Latia, we all want to sit with you and talk to you for a bit. Is that okay? Raisha, looking a little suspicious. Sure. What do you want to talk about? Are you going to try to trick me or something? Latia, no, Raisha. You say you're no longer evil, right? So, if that's the case, then the 3 of us would like to try to get to know you better. Is that okay? Raisha, still looking suspicious. I guess. What are you all going to do? Shinfia, we're going to sit here with you, drink some wine, and try to get to know you. And I'd like to give you a hug. Is that okay? Raisha, now looking confused. I guess so. Shinfia leaned in and hugged her, and then kissed her on her cheek. I really hope you're good now, because if you are, that would be great. We really enjoyed going adventuring with Jilgrath. It was awkward at first, but as we got to know him, we all started liking him. Raisha, did you all hug and kiss him like you just did with me? Shinfia, smiling now. No, but we will if you'd like us to. That is, as long as he's fine with it and doesn't take it the wrong way. You know how easily men can take affection the wrong way. I swear, whenever I'd kiss a guy, I think they thought I wanted to have sex with them. Men can be so silly sometimes. Latia, yes, but our men aren't like that. Shin and I are really lucky. Nightwind, Belfin, and Phileas don't have feelings like that for women that aren't their race. And Lightmane, Tenneth, and Jack all love us like they're our brothers. Carl, on the other hand, when she said that, Shinfia started laughing. I think Carl wanted both of us, but I'm really glad he and Laura got married. Latia, both of us? I think Carl wanted every pretty girl he saw. I'm so glad he changed. I guess falling in love can really change a man, can't it? Raisha, who's Carl? Dalma, yes, who's Carl? Latia, Carl is a very attractive man, who's also the owner of the Inn of the Green Dragon, so girls often flirted with him, and he with them. When he slapped my butt, I almost slapped him. He's just lucky that I knew him well enough to know that he was just messing with me. Shinfia, I think the other reason you didn't slap him is because you liked it. I saw you smile afterwards. Dalma, he hit you? Latia, no, he smacked my butt. Here, stand up. Dalma stood up, and Latia smacked her butt. Like that. Dalma, oh, I see. Do men often smack girls' butts like that? Shinfia, sometimes. It depends on the guy. Some guys are fun and nice about it. They're mostly harmless, but others can get a little aggressive. But when that happens, usually other men step in and put them in their place. Dalma, oh, I see. Wood elves never act like that. Shinfia, not even when you're alone with a man? Dalma, I haven't been alone with a man like that yet. When a man shows interest, if I'm interested, then we'll get married and have children. Latia, looking surprised. Just like that? Dalma, yes. Our life is very different from your lives. But now that I'm getting to know you all better, I'm starting to understand your ways. At least a little bit. Raisha, I like when Jilgrath smacks my butt, especially when we're naked. The three girls all looked at each other funny, and then Latia spoke. Okay, I don't think we want to hear about your sex life with a half-orc. Raisha, why? Does the thought of being with a half-orc like that confuse you? Shinfia, yes, it does. I don't think I could ever be interested in a half-orc like that. Don't get me wrong, I like Jilgrath. Then again, he's the only half-orc I know. But I could never, Raisha, have sex with a half-orc. Shinfia, feeling a little uncomfortable now. How about we change the subject? Let's talk about us, and no more talk about men. Raisha, why? Do you think I'm pretending to be in love with him? Could you do that? Latia, pretend to be in love with someone? Sure, if I needed to for some reason. Raisha, yes, but could you pretend you're in love with a half-orc and also sleep with him? Shinfia, well, if I had to, I guess I could do it. Raisha, Jilgrath and I have been together for months now. Could you do that with a half-orc for months? Shinfia just looked at Latia. She's telling the truth. Latia and Shinfia just started laughing. Latia, this conversation did not go the way I thought it would. We were planning on being affectionate with you. We wanted to see how you'd respond to it, just to see, Oh well, They both started laughing again, and now Raisha joined them. Dalma just looked confused. Ilana, okay, there's no sign of them anywhere. So now what? Where could they possibly have gone to? Sheila, well, let's go over all our options. They're imaginary. Ilana, no, they're not, since we killed them. Sheila, okay, how about this? Amber is a real place, so their spirits all went there. Ilana, but only Corwin is from Amber. But he's not from Amber either, since he's just YOLO's NPC. Sheila, okay, let me think. Maybe they went to imaginary Forestera, or imaginary Amber, which means they're no longer our problem. Ilana, or maybe they somehow became actual people, which they clearly did, which means they all went somewhere. Sheila, and now we've come full circle, which leaves us still scratching our heads. So I say, who cares? They're no longer around, so forget about them. Who cares where they went to, or where their dead bodies went to? That portal isn't there anymore, so good riddance, I say. YOLO, well, we're all just as confused as all of you are. Seeing the Corwin that I created come through that portal, though, scared the crap out of me. He even said his strength was 1888 and that he was the 33rd level paladin, which is what it says on his character sheet. Moradin, you think that's scary? How did you feel when that 6-foot-tall dwarf came through and said his name was Barg? He also talked like he was a character that we rolled up, but I didn't roll him up. I just wanted to see how much he'd weigh if he was 6 feet tall. What was with him saying how he had 15 hit points and what his strength was, just like Corwin did? What was that all about? YOLO, with a weird look on his face. Well, guys, believe it or not, I made that character. Sheila, sounding shocked. What? YOLO, I couldn't help it. A 6-foot-tall dwarf that weighed 267 pounds? I thought it was hilarious, so I was going to have you guys encounter him, and real soon too. Here, look, here's his character sheet. Sheila looked at the character sheet and read it out loud. Barg, Dwarven Barbarian. He's got 15 hit points, and his stats are Strength 1858, Dexterity 9, Constitution 17, Intelligence 10, Wisdom 9, and Charisma 7. Bale. He's got just a 7 charisma? YOLO, yes, I decided that he'd be obnoxious, just like he was. Bale, you wrote down his personality too? You're kidding. YOLO, I wish I was, but I wrote it all down. Look on the back of the character sheet. Sheila turned the sheet over. Barg is a loud and obnoxious dwarf, especially when he tells people what his name is. It doesn't say anything about him being married to Drana, though. So what was that all about? YOLO, looking awkward. Well, Sheila, no way. You had them get married? YOLO, no, but I was going to tell you that when Barg saw Drana, that it was love at first sight. And then I was going to ask you if you'd like to roleplay that you were in love with him too. And that, who knows, maybe you two could get married. I thought it would be funny. Kurth, laughing now. Oh God, that all sounds hilarious. Now I want to play some more, but with Barg joining us. Sheila, I don't know if I can ever play with these characters ever again. I'm just creeped out right now. All of a sudden, they heard a strange sound outside. Sheila, what in the world was that? Male voice. Attention, attention. May I have your attention, please? At the sound of the voice, they all moved to a window and couldn't believe what they saw. For outside on the grass stood a giant amber-colored portal, and standing in front of it was an elf, and he was speaking into an amber-colored megaphone. The elf spoke again. Sheila and Ilana, you are officially summoned to appear in the Court of Amber immediately. Everyone came outside, and Sheila once again had a shocked look on her face. The Court of Amber? Who are you, and what are you doing in my world? The elf set down the megaphone and stepped forward. But without the megaphone, his voice now sounded just like Leopold, the gold dragon. "Ah, good to see all of you, and welcome. I am Leopold. I am the treasurer and official court officer of Amber, and you are hereby summoned to appear in Amber's court immediately. The others may all come if they'd like." Sheila, furious now. "That's it. Get out of my world immediately, or I'll bring all of my wrath down on you." Leopold, "Oh my, temper. I strongly recommend that you cooperate, for I can assure you, my dear." He then paused and smiled. "Resistance is futile." Sheila, "Resistance is futile? Do you have any idea who you're talking to right now?" Leopold, "Of course. You are Sheila, goddess of Forestera, and you are Ilana, goddess of the forests, woodlands, flora, fauna, and fertility," he said, smiling. "Now come along. The court is waiting for you." Ilana looked a little surprised at Leopold's description of her, as she wondered how he knew what all of her titles were, especially the part about fertility. Sheila, smiling now, "We're not going anywhere." Leopold, looking a little saddened, "You're not going anywhere? Oh, pity." Just then, another elf came through the portal. He wore light blue clothing and looked very beautiful in his appearance, but he also looked like he was someone of importance. But then again, so did Leopold, but not as much as this elf looked. Elf, "Now, Sheila, I know you said that you wanted to do this the hard way, but please do not resist, and just step through the portal with Ilana and anyone else who wants to come. And let's get on with these proceedings, shall we?" Sheila walked up to the elf and stared into his eyes. "I guess I have to ask these questions yet again. Who are you, and what's going on?" The elf sighed. "Oh well, I guess we've yet to be properly introduced, have we? Very well. I am Zelazny, creator of Amber." He then pulled a book from his vest. "You've read part of my first book on Amber, so I know you know who I am." Sheila, as well as the others, all had a stunned look on their face and just stared at Zelazny in silence. But he continued, "You are charged with the murder of Corwin, the Prince of Amber and Chaos. How you plead is irrelevant. You murdered him. You must now come to Amber and stand trial, and you are both also charged with the killing of the following people: Drana, Elena, Harlan, Rorik, Burke, Harag, and Barg. Now come along peacefully, or I'll be forced to send you through the portal against your will. The choice is yours." Sheila, smiling now, "Well, Zelazny, you're in my realm now, and thus you have no power over me here. Now, get out of my realm, or I'll throw you out." Zelazny smiled. But just then, Sheila and Ilana rose up into the air a few feet and couldn't move or speak. "You're both coming with me. The rest of you are free to follow us, if you'd like. You will be able to return here after the trial. The choice is yours." Just then, a human came through the portal. It was the dungeon master that they had all met before. "Is there a problem?" Zelazny, "Yes, but now everything's fine." Sheila didn't believe Leopold when he told her that resistance is futile. Well, now she knows. They started walking towards the portal when Yolo remembered something he was thinking about a little while ago. We're coming too, but I have a question first, if you don't mind." Zelazny, turning back around. "Hello, Yolo. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance." Leopold smiled. "What is your question?" Yolo, "How can a paladin be a prince of chaos?" Zelazny just smiled.